Is the rebel base.
Jesus.
Jeez.
That was very Nazi ex-empire there. Sorry, I
Hey,
didn't mean to mention Nazis in the first 10 seconds of the stream. Welcome, everyone.
well, there goes any monetization.
Sorry.
Or, no.
Sorry, I'll send you $10.
Wait, why are we not streaming? Hey, internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is welcome to Paradise Academy. No, I did not just briefly forget what show this was. I've been sick all week. I have head cold brain. This is welcome to Paradise Academy, season 2 of our Welcome to Paradise Michigan Kids on Bikes RPG game. This is season 2, episode 31, Rainy Days and Mondays. We're going to do a couple of super quick announcements and then get into the game. First and foremost, we're going to point up above M and Tamiko there, where we have our domain pops. Domain pops are the domain dice for this game, which are, of course, a way that you, the viewer, can have an impact. Excuse me. You, the viewer, can have an impact on the game. I'm falling apart here. Can have an impact on the game simply by subscribing, resubscribing, gifting subs, cheering 500 bits, tipping $5, Ko-fi support. All of those things will earn domain pops for the players, which they can use to add +1 for every pop they spend to any dice rolls. Or they can spend 5 to make themselves or anybody else roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table. You know, something that was brought up in our part 2 of our Hell Michigan game, which you can watch part 3 of, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. The third and final episode of that one shot. We activated domain pops by audience demand, and the players have loved it. But something that was asked last week was, can the players make me roll on the table? Which we determined very quickly wouldn't make much sense. There's no payoff really to it. But it kind of makes me wonder if there's any kind of demand for it. Maybe I should have you guys help create, you the players, maybe the audience even, help create a DM D100 mystery grab table. It doesn't necessarily have to have 100 items on it. It could be a D20 list, or a D there could be however many, it'd still be a D100 list. But it's worth thinking about since it was brought up. At any rate, we'll mull that over maybe in time for the third iteration, whenever that may be. I sort of inadvertently announced the or indirectly announced that, of course, we do have our Welcome to Hell Michigan trilogy final game coming up. But the reason we're not playing tomorrow is because Ted and I will be over on Nerdarchy with our the rest of our friends for the Old Guard, the Da Vinci Punk game that we've been playing, where we're playing retired adventurers back for one last hurrah. And we haven't played in a while, so definitely looking forward to it. That is a fantastic game, fantastic group of people. So excited to be back together with them tomorrow. We have the finale of Scribes and Scrolls has been much teased, much talked about, and is officially booked on the calendar for recording. And should everything go as according to plan, the finale will air this coming Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that will be a wrap on Scribes and Scrolls. And then Tuesday we'll be back with Sky Metal Iron Gods. Our next session, we left off right as we rolled for initiative. So we'll be starting off with a pretty big fight that could be another TPK. Who knows? So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Just a quick reminder, or a quick note, content warning. We are adults playing as teens in a fictitious town of Paradise, Michigan, set in the 1980s at a fictitious school. You may hear adult language, graphic depictions of violence. You may hear or see depictions of bullying, various degrees of abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. You may see or hear discussions about sensitive topics, divorce, drug use and abuse, or substance use and abuse. Any number of things. We encourage you to take self-care and decide for yourself if that is something that you are wanting to watch. If not, please feel free to go somewhere else. We will not be offended if you are taking care of yourself. But do know that we have safety tools in place. We are big on safety tools here. We've had more than one session 0 for this campaign. And we talk pretty openly about everything so that everybody can stay safe at the table. We want to make sure that everybody is having fun in a safe environment. And we encourage you to do the same at your own tables. There's a link in the chat where you can check out the RPG Safety Toolkit online. I encourage you to check that out and use it in your own games. Jeremy, if you want to go ahead and do that now as well, you can feel free. Please do.
Yeah, I was gonna plug that I'm kicking off a trilogy next Wednesday night over on my channel on the YouTube called the Erasmus Expeditions. This trilogy is going to be Ether Nexus, which is going to be coming out on Tuesday, the day before, officially released by Absolute Tabletop. Yeah, it's going to be a fun little romp, I hope. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, so if you're into kind of weird mech robots that are like magic and organic in nature and very out there and very gonzo, then stop by the channel and check it out.
Define into.
This is a judgment-free zone, Jacob.
Hey, Jake.
You means are you currently piloting mechs? Are you into the mech?
Exactly.
Yes.
Into mech.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Very much looking forward to that. This is watching Jeremy run something like this is sort of the TTRPG equivalent of getting to go to a fancy restaurant and have high-end drinks and food where somebody else is picking up the tab. It's an amazing experience. It's definitely top shelf. And word on the street is there might be more Aether Nexus kicking around next month too. So stay tuned for that. But very much looking forward to that, Jeremy. Last thing before we get rolling along with the game here is, of course, a reminder that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. It is true. There are any number of reasons why you might be struggling, why you might need somebody to talk to. You might not even be struggling. You might just want somebody to talk to, an impartial third party. Whatever the case may be, sometimes the hardest part is figuring out how to find somebody to talk to. We've tried to make that as simple as possible. All you have to do is come into our chat and type !help, or you can check out the bottom of the stream every once in a while. The URL will show up. Findahelpline.com, or you can check out the growing list of resources at takethis.org. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise Academy. Excuse me. I was trying not to break into while I was
Paradise
talking.
Academy.
Welcome to Paradise Academy. If this game had been a couple days ago, there's a good chance it would have been a repeat of our finale from last season, where I don't really if it wasn't recorded, I wouldn't remember.
We're
the
just
last,
a fever
last
dream.
half of the game. You guys, as we have commented on and joked about frequently, over the last. Oh, hold on. A couple things happening. One is our little buddy Oak is here. Well, I need
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because at some point, I'd like Oak to roll on the mystery table.
Oh my
no.
Hold on.
God.
We're a
Out
little
of the
skewed.
gate.
I also want to point out that we got we got 6 subs for the price of 5.
Oh.
Hey.
So we get a pop.
I almost just took us off air. There's too many buttons here. I need to go into media, missing players. Turn that off. Oh, Chad up here. Perfect timing, Chad. We're just starting the recap. And apparently, while we're doing the recap, Tamika would like you to roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table.
Oh my God.
So you can go ahead and
welcome
roll
home
that,
present.
and when we come out of the recap, then we can resolve that. So that's going to put us up to 46. No, 40. Hold on, 47.
Woo.
47. Well, let me take the 5
So
away
close.
because that's 42. Whoops, that's only +4. Hold on.
Math is hard.
I just stole like 36 subs or ops from you guys. And then I will give you one of these. There we go. Who the heck's producing this? Okay. So yeah, you've had what we've joked about a few times, but in reality has been like a 4-month weekend. It really has taken a long time to get through this weekend. But at long last, after some intense conversations, questioning by the authorities, definitely by 2 detectives named Detective Haim and Detective Feldman, it's Monday morning, and you all are headed to school. Oh, this is interesting.
Oh.
All right. I've just
Uh-oh.
number 68 is
Almost.
this is one of those results on the D100 table that has the potential to completely change the direction of the session. So I'm highlighting number 68, and I will find the right spot to introduce this into the game.
Awesome.
I would like you
difficult to find the right spot to introduce a 68.
Well, if you'll recall, you're the one that got the 69. That's
Wow.
still
I
unresolved.
recall.
Remembering.
It is an unresolved 69.
Yeah, but
So I would like everybody roll a d20 for me.
Oof.
We got a 9, a 4, 17, and 11, and 11, and I just need Chad.
Winning.
Me and Jeremy are twinning.
Winning is winning. Hashtag.
Nat 20. No need to explode on this. This is exceptionally, I guess, appropriate since you just rolled on the D100 table that you're going to go first. We're going to check in on Oak first at the start of our session. After Oak, Jessica, you are on deck. Oak. It's Monday morning. It is a rainy September Monday. It's the kind of rain that definitely drops the temperature, but not quite enough that you feel the full chill of fall. It's still sort of light jacket weather, maybe a raincoat, what have you. the several businesses in town that you can see are already starting their morning routine, sweeping in front of the sidewalk, in front of their door where the rain isn't falling, turning signs from closed to open, those kind of things. I guess the first question, Oak, as you are heading to school, and the streets are, you can see kids from all over town walking to school, a handful that are being dropped off, a couple that are being dropped off by bus. Where did you stay last night? Did you go home, or did you stay with Billy?
No, I think honestly, I think I probably would have stayed with Coop that night.
Well, that's right.
Inadvertently, I
Sorry,
think
that's
I
right.
went over to Coop's house, and I would have stayed with Coop that night. Like, I think intentionally, I was planning on going to Billy's, but
That's right.
no, I would have stayed at Coop. I would have stayed at Coop's because we were just having too much fun with each other. And
But we
Yep.
would have called Billy to know. We wouldn't have
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
ghosted
yeah.
him.
for sure, I wouldn't. No, I
Coop's
wouldn't.
a very
have-
considerate
yeah,
little
we
man. And
So-
so is Oak.
exactly. So, I think, yeah.
Okay, so it's
yeah.
safe to say then that
I think
it's
after the fact.
Go ahead. Chad's on.
Oh, no,
the
you're
delay.
good. You're good.
I think
Apparently, I am. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's safe to say that Oak and Coop are probably riding their bikes or walking to school together. And as you are heading to school, given where Coop lives, you do pass through part of the downtown area to get to the school, which is essentially downtown adjacent. And Oak, as you are heading through the downtown area, passing by some of the familiar storefronts and seeing places like Wayne's Old Time Tavern and Jean's Cafe, and you pass by One Man's Junk, the antique junk shop, what have you. And as you are passing by, something catches your eye. Only because of how prominent it is displayed in the window, and the fact that so far in the time that you've been in Paradise, you've never seen this in this store. This is like a new addition. Standing in the window near the door, at taking up pretty much the full height of the window, standing at about 8 feet tall, you see the recently acquired secondhand animatronic mouse from a popular kids pizza restaurant. And as
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
as you are riding by with Coop, I would like you to make me a brains check.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. That's a 3.
That's good enough. This was a very low DC.
Oh, good.
As you are riding by, we see first the perspective. We see the animatronic mouse in the window, and then we see sort of a perspective from within the window, watching you and Coop ride by. And you can see sort of the backwards letters of One Man's Junk. And as you pass by, the camera sort of starts to follow you. And we cut to your view, your point of view. As you pass by, you see this animatronic go
No.
and watch
Don't
you
like that
ride
one
by.
bit.
What would you like to do?
Oh, geez. So I catch it? Oh.
Yeah, you
oh,
see it.
dear. Like, part of my paranormal, like, love is like, ooh, I'm interested, and then part of me is absolutely terrified. So I feel like he stops his bike short, halfway past the door, and there's like this moment of hesitation where he'll turn and look back at the shop and like question it. Hey, hey, Coop.
Coop's huffing and puffing. What?
You ever seen this thing in the window before?
What thing? Coop turns and looks. I see the animatronic at least, right?
You do not.
Coop turns and looks at the window.
You see a
Yeah, that store name's really funny.
you see a normal sized mannequin, very poorly dressed as a pirate.
That's the worst pirate costume I've ever seen.
What do you mean, pirate costume? Do you not see the mouse there? It's just. You like
Coop's
looked
like
at me
looking
and
down, like looking for like a little mouse. What mouse?
No, not like Templeton. I mean, 8-foot tall, big old metal looking mouse looking thing.
No, I don't see that. Oh, do you have a tumor?
No, I don't. And I like blink my eyes and I look back at the window and I just want to make sure that I'm not seeing things that like I see the mouse still. I'm maybe I did have a bad night's sleep, or maybe I did have something wrong with me. I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing wrong.
The animatronic mouse puts its hand on the window.
Oh.
Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost.
No, I'm not. We should get You see him start to get hyperventilate. We should get to.
It goes like this.
Whoa, I hate it more every time you say something.
I should clarify.
Yeah.
It draws its finger across its throat in the classic "You're dead."
Are you saying that this is an unfriendly rat? Jake?
It sure seems that way. Don't tell me that's a bingo space.
Oh god.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, damn. Okay. So now.
Maybe we shouldn't ride. Maybe we should walk our bikes the rest of the way.
No, we should ride. We should get away from here as fast as we can. And then we should never go in that store. Ever. I will avoid it with all costs.
Oh, okay.
As you are riding away, you hear the sound of the bells above the door jingle. And glancing back over your shoulder, Oak, you see the animatronic mouse, all 8 feet tall of it, step out onto the sidewalk into the rain. And you see its eyes go.
I am gonna have nightmares in real life.
Oak is traumatized, y'all. Like, if he had anything else planned for the day, this is now top of mind. There is nothing else. Nothing else but animatronic death machine that now has his number. So
you seem distant today. What's wrong?
I am rethinking my life choices.
I imagine that Oak probably takes off like a bat out of hell, which is a feat on his little trike bike, and Coop just like watches him pew,
over here looking like Ghost Rider, just
Oh,
flames behind.
he's going fast, oh beans. And Coop gets on his bike. Just starts pedaling.
Man.
Can I reiterate how much I love it whenever Coop goes, "Oh beans."
Beans.
That needs to be a
Beans.
shirt.
Seriously, there you go.
beans.
Oh beans.
Jake, I gotta know who contributed that one to the roll table.
That was me.
I was Jesus. I'm
so-
constantly in awe of the creativity.
So
Chuck E. Chase.
yeah,
Oh my God.
Chuck E. Chase is the
It's so twisted. I would have given it to Gary. Like,
So-
it feels like a Gary thing.
feels very good.
my daughter actually has a phobia of animatronic, just animatronics. They freak her
Reasonable.
the F out. That's where I got the idea.
That's amazing though.
I don't like mascots.
And that's what
It's like
you
Uncanny
rolled.
Valley.
That's what you rolled, Chad, was number 68, Chuck E. Chase.
I have a death machine. That's amazing and
So,
also terrifying.
Uh,
Yay!
We see
Batting 1,000.
the two of you racing, Oak racing to get away, and Coop racing to keep up with Oak the last couple blocks to school. As you arrive and hastily put your bikes up into the bike rack and beat feet into the school. As you are inside, we see this. I imagine, Oak, as you're inside, you sort of do that thing where you close the door and kind of hold it and look back. And we see about 50 feet away or whatever down the steps, on the sidewalk, just staring up into the school, is the animatronic mouse.
Jesus Christ. Oh. Incredible.
Jessica, for some reason, well, not for some reason, because it was so long this season, I keep hesitating. I keep wanting to say Anne.
Which one is?
There is no Anne anymore. Jessica, what are you doing this morning on your way to school? Any special stops or any plans?
Is there like, I'm sure there's like a coffee shop, or
So-
the equivalent.
This is 1985. And it's a small town in Michigan, so you're not going to find even anything closely approximating what you would expect for today's times. The best you can do is Jean's Cafe, which does open up in the morning. And you're going to get percolator coffee, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. I would imagine that maybe Jessica isn't allowed coffee, or maybe her mom doesn't really have coffee at the house, so I think she would drive her car to the local cafe there and get some coffee. And I mean, she would just add like tons of sugar and tons of milk and cream to it.
Yeah, I imagine when you walk in, because there's definitely not anything resembling a drive-through. You park on the street, you walk in, and the cafe is filled with mostly Paradise senior citizens that have already been up for an hour or two. They're eating breakfast and having their cups of coffee. And I imagine you're probably not the only student that stops by to get coffee. Some stop by to get sandwiches or get different beverages, but yeah, you're able to get yourself some highly sweetened and diluted coffee before school. I imagine there's a moment of, well, you tell me how you feel when you walk in, perhaps forgetting that behind the counter, aligned with the cash register, is a probably 6-foot by 8-foot mirror that has like etchings into it, and it has like Jean's Cafe etched into it. But as you step in to the cafe, you're confronted with immediately seeing your reflection staring back at you. How does that make you feel?
I think Jessica has these flashbacks of she'll look into a mirror and all of a sudden all around her there's nothing and no one and everyone's gone, and for a moment she has this panic that drives through her throat, down her chest. She gets like a cold sweat, and her extremities feel frozen as she thinks she's back in that place.
I think as that flashback is happening, you hear this sort of low droning sound that sort of rises as you're looking around and seeing no one, and you look out the window and you see nobody outside the window, and that sort of panic is starting to settle in, and this droning is sort of... I didn't even select this song, but it seems to be doing what I'm trying to describe.
That's incredible. That's amazing. Perfect song cue. Bingo card.
But then it hits this moment at its peak when you're sure that you are trapped in the mirror world, where all of a sudden it ends in the sound of one of those silver countertop bells. Ding! Order up! As the cook puts an order up, and Jean herself also hands you the styrofoam cup with the coffee in it, sort of breaking that illusion. And you see, or all around you see a good half a dozen elderly couples and individuals enjoying their breakfast, and cars driving by out front, and it's all back to normal.
Yeah, Jessica lets out a breath, and she feels that her fists have been clenched as she kind of releases them.
Maybe a grit check real quick.
Okay. Sure. Grit. 3.
You realize not only are your hands clenched, thankfully there is a cash register blocking Jean's view from you. You have placed at least one of your hands on the counter, and we're gripping it tight enough that your hand is actually phased into the countertop.
Oh.
Yeah. You see she immediately tries to yank her hand out of the counter.
Yeah, and you're able to do so, and Jean kind of, her hand's still on the cup as she's setting it down in front of you, says, you might want to think about decaf, hon.
She says as she holds on, grabs the coffee and leaves very quickly.
Haha, thank you, yes.
That laugh was enough to get the attention of some of the senior citizens, who all just they watch you leave, and as soon as you're out of the door and out of sight, and they're right back to
Kids these days.
as you head back to your car and head up to school.
Oh my god.
We are very talkative. I'm trying to find the... Okay, so...
Oh, in the side chat?
Yep.
Sorry.
Cool. How's your morning, in addition to You can roll back the clock a little bit if you need to, but
I mean, Coop's morning started out okay because like his friends slept over and they had a great time last night. And what is it? And then shit got real weird on their way to school. Like he's a little concerned about Oak, and he's, planning to ask some of the others about it. Like, have they ever experienced any weird hallucinations? But otherwise, I mean, like, I guess Coop, now that they're at school, is kind of like a little bit in a weird place.
by weird place you mean Paradise Academy or?
No,
Wow.
weird place, as in like I guess he feels a little he's worried and feeling a little self-conscious because clearly Oak thought he saw something and Coop's a little concerned, like, why didn't I see something?
This must be how everybody feels when I'm hearing voices in my head.
Coop, what, if anything, are you doing about the Nintendo Power Glove that's on your right hand? Are you trying to hide it? Are you wearing it proudly?
He's probably not even really thinking about it. He's got, he's wearing his coat, and it's got long sleeves, so he can't even really see it. So he's probably not even going to think about it till he takes his coat off.
Is it one of those classic windbreakers with the snaps?
Oh.
Or is it a members only jacket?
The Charlotte Hornets windbreaker
No,
that
Coop's
everyone
not
had.
cool enough to have a members only jacket. Not even the same area of style. Like it's probably like some kind of lightweight rainproof coat with Velcro, because Velcro.
Yep. Yeah, no shade about choosing to wear a Nintendo Power Glove in the 6th grade. For most of 7th grade, I wore a pair of orange Detroit Tigers wristbands for no reason. And I definitely didn't get picked on at all about that. All right. Laz.
Yeah. I think he is pulling up on his skateboard probably right as like the bell is ringing. And he pulls his backpack off as he's kind of like slowly making his way through the mostly empty hallways. And he waits till he gets outside of whatever class it is that he has at the very beginning. I don't know which one it is. And then he goes, oh, fuck. He takes his backpack off of his shoulder and he pulls out like a fairly wadded up piece of paper. And like as he flattens it back out, like on the nearby locker, we can tell that it's the report card. And he like pulls a pen out of his bag and like forges his mom's signature real fast on it before he folds it back up neatly and kind of like stuffs it in his bag and then goes into the class.
Yearbook is your first class.
There we go. Thank you.
For just in case anybody doesn't remember, Oak, you're an AP English Lit and Comp. Coop, you're an English Lit and Comp. Regular, not AP. Jessica's in journalism. Rosie's in broadcasting. Billy's in metal shop. And Laz is in yearbook. Now, Laz, I would like you to roll me a brains check as you do this. Signing a report card for what would, I guess at this point, would probably be roughly the first marking period. I'm basing it on Edie's
that works out.
memories.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do grades and marking periods and all that.
We sure do grades and marking periods.
As I recall, it was like, I think it was like every 9 weeks or something like that.
Yep.
Was a marking period.
That's correct.
I only know that because I had to watch out for my report card so I could forge my parent signature on it.
So I got a big old 5.
As you... All right, hold on. I had a note on this. Where did it go?
Oh, Jesus. While Jake is looking for a note, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we've got all kinds of great t-shirt designs like the one I'm wearing, the one Jeremy is wearing, not the one Ted's wearing anymore. So be sure to get yours while they're hot. We can get them on stickers, tank tops, hoodies, t-shirts, and all kinds of other great stuff. Teespring.com. Just click the link in the description for this video.
Thank you. I had transcribed a bunch of notes to a Google Doc, and I forgot to turn the page, so I left some notes on my handwritten notebook. With that 5, as you, 2 things happen. As you grab the wadded up report card, to forge your mother's signature on it. 1, you realize that as you go to put pen to paper, Jeannie Eccles has already signed your report card. She already saw it.
Jeannie is so amazing, dude. Your mom
And
is
he's
so
like-
cool.
He actually like almost traces the first letter before he even realizes. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. He like folds it up and puts it
But
back in his bag.
As you are going to put it back in your bag, you realize when she, for whatever reason that she found it, and she took it out to sign it, she must have accidentally picked up a couple papers from her own desk. You see that there is, along with this crumpled, folded up report card, there is a sheet of notebook paper that's been torn out of a notebook. And you can see, immediately you recognize Jeannie's handwriting. And you see a lot of things written down that are then crossed out, as often when she's working on drum notations or when she's working on song lyrics. And with the new album in the works and talking about the tour, it looks like she was brainstorming some stuff, workshopping some things. And as you take a look at this paper, you notice that in amongst all of the discarded ideas, in the middle at a slant, even though it's lined paper, Jeannie never, unless she's taking drum notations, she never follows the lines. So sort of at an angle across the lines of this paper, you see what she seems to have settled on, or the band has settled on, for the name of their next album, and you see a partial track list.
Oh, ooh.
The name of the album is The Jealous Mirror. The names of the tracks that you see, and you can see that she's made some markings, that there's room for at least a few more, at least maybe 4 or 5 more tracks. This is the track list. Iterations. The First Time Lord. The Latchkeys Menagerie. Lonely Twin. Unbreakable Roses. A Sheep in Wolf's Clothing. And No Son of Mine.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I think this is probably not the first time that he has come across a list like this. But so at first, it's almost just like what the hell is this doing? Wait a second. And then, like, I think probably Unbreakable Roses like jumps out at him first, and then he like starts back over at the top of the list and starts reading this, and he gets to the bottom. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like loud enough where absolutely somebody in the classroom would hear.
You who's your teacher?
Dude.
Miss Morgan, in an almost sing-song voice, just goes, "Language."
God damn it. I gotta start playing bingo. We've had a lot of them this game.
I'm one away already.
Shit.
Just started.
We've had a lot already. Perfect music cue. Laura drop.
Cards are pinned in the chat.
Hey.
He's
What a time for M
He's
to be
gonna-
away.
he's gonna go
Right.
find Oak.
You're just gonna get up and leave class?
He never went in.
Oh,
He's still in
you
the
hadn't
hallway.
gone into the class yet. Okay.
No,
Yeah,
yeah.
you were outside of the class.
Mhm.
Do you know what class Oak has?
Don't know if Laz does or not. I'm sure.
Go
about
ahead and
this
give me a
point he
brains
probably
check.
does. Okay. 8. Whoops. Under my laptop. 4.
You're not entirely 100% sure. So I think you're going to spend a little bit of time wandering the halls, peeking in classrooms. I don't even have the map at ready access, so I don't remember where AP English Lit and Comp is. But at any rate, as you take off looking for Oak, Billy, how was Billy's morning?
So Billy's having a rough day. Given his weekend, I can't imagine how it could start off pleasant. So I'm going to take some liberties, and you let me know whether this is okay. After I got the phone call from Oak and Coop to say that Oak wasn't coming, I imagine Billy didn't answer the phone, and it was Mom rapping on the door to say, "Oh, Oak's on the phone. He's not coming over." And I just kind of reply with a grunt. And as night falls and he's just lying there in bed, he had the encounter with Carson, which only set him off even more. He tried to do everything he could to save Carson, and a person who was probably as close to a real father as he had is basically like, "Look, I'm parting on these terms, but I pretty much hate you. Have a great night. Have a great life." So he's got plans for what he's going to do at school the next day, but sleep doesn't find him. So he decides to, do as he did when Carson was throwing rocks at the window, and he sneaks back outside. And under the moon, which it's not completely full, but it was full on Friday night, and it's now only Sunday night, so it's
Waning.
most of the way there. He'll shift under cover of darkness into a full werewolf form, and he's just gonna stalk over to the address that he got from Carson. No intention of going inside, but he wants to get a lay of the land and do something that he feels could possibly be productive, given the utterly foul mood that he is in. And he'll just kind of stalk the area and just exist as a werewolf under the darkness. It is, the first rays of morning light begin to make their way. He's already made his way back to the house and climbs into bed enough to pretend to get up and start his day, but you can see that his eyes are bloodshot as he is dropped off to school with barely a word or a nod to his mother and grandmother. Have we named Carson's replacement?
No, we
Jokingly,
never did.
we've named him Vanson.
I didn't know if Hanson was a joke or not.
Well,
Yes,
it was,
but-
and yes.
It's now permanently etched into my brain.
Okay.
So, apparently his name is Vanson.
So I don't do any like intentional disrespect, but it is clear, it is probably I probably have a palpable aura of of problem coming off of me.
Okay. There was a very brief moment when you said you go to the address that Carson gave you, and I think you might on the replay see my eyes go, and I'm like, what address? I actually had to just bring up Tomiko's notes to go, oh yeah!
There's such a lifesaver, bro.
There was just this one thing that I completely forgot about. As soon as I saw the name in there, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I remember
God.
everything. But there's just that moment you say that, and my eyes go. that like when you find out you have a test or a homework that's due that you forgot about.
See that? I'm giving a test
Holy
tomorrow. I'm going to
crap.
see that look a lot.
But I am actively for the moment looking to avoid talking to, or I'm trying to avoid the friend group.
I
Trying to
think
just-
without any role necessary, because of your heightened senses in your wolf form, there would have been a moment when you first slunk outside, and as you step off the back porch behind the kitchen and make your way up the driveway, when you shift into your wolf form, because it's right near one of the last places she was, you catch the lingering scent of Anne right at the edge of the porch, where she was hanging out when she was watching TJ's interaction. That's where you would have come down the stairs. You'd be nearby there. So as much as you may have been trying to forget, that immediately goes into your wolf senses and stays with you, probably contributing to your sleeplessness, your restlessness through the night.
I would imagine I would pause for a moment and take in a long deep breath to take that in longer, keep it fresh, if you will.
I would like a grit check.
All right, so in werewolf form, I'm using that grit.
So
Or is this
no, this is in your human form. I'll
Okay.
tell you, you are making a grit check to determine how well. It's sort of the equivalent of seeing if you have a point of exhaustion.
okay.
I want to see if you pass it, you're fine. If you fail it, you're going to have physical consequence for the day.
Okay. That's a 7.
You pass. It was a DC 6, actually. So despite that, there's something about being in your sort of empowered wolf form, and being in a nocturnal state that sort of gives you a little natural. You might be a bit grumpy and bleary-eyed, but no physical consequence for the day. Finally, Rosie, how's your morning?
My morning is fine. Rosie did, eventually go home. I imagine she even somewhat reluctantly gets a ride to school with Sherry. The ride is very awkward because Rosie's not talking a ton to her because she she kind of doesn't know, does she remember? Is this all really happening? Kind of hoping to God, trying to convince herself that a lot of what happened was a dream, knowing it wasn't. All of that is swirling around in her head.
All morning, Sherry was completely talking to you in a cheerful, motherly voice, and there was nothing that she said or did to indicate anything other than she's your mom and the principal.
I am responding, trying to respond politely, thinking maybe she doesn't know or doesn't remember what was in the lab somehow, or all of that. And so Rosie does hitch a ride with her mom to school, and when she gets there, kids are just getting to school. And I imagine talking about the dance, and I imagine there's still a homecoming decoration or two that got missed in the cleanup, and just Rosie is looking for specifically either Laz and Jess or any of the littles. Not Billy. She probably wants to avoid Billy. Last time we saw each other, he was pretty pissed.
I would like you to give me a quick brains check.
Oh, brains.
This is a tiered check, not a pass or fail.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and tiered check, you say?
Yep.
I know it doesn't super matter, but you know what? What the hell? I'm gonna go ahead and use my little star to make that a 5.
Okay. That's enough then. This was generally I use the tiered checks as the higher your number, the more you notice or the more you know or whatever.
I would like to notice 5 amount, please.
Building off of what you said about noticing decorations, there's a little bit more than you would have expected. Notably, there's a lot of the prom and homecoming announcement posters and things, and it sort of strikes you a memory of something you heard over the weekend, just yesterday, in fact, from the detectives. As the head of the committee, Claire would have been responsible for leading the cleanup, and Claire is missing.
Right.
And that's sort of like a reminder that, Claire would have taken care of that stuff, or organized the cleaning party, probably to happen on a Sunday following the dance or the Saturday or whatever, and because Claire's missing, it didn't happen. So that's kind of a reminder everywhere you look that you see some of these decorations still there.
Which is a bummer, and Rosie's bummed out and pissed off at this whole situation.
I would like one other range check from you as part of this morning routine. This is a separate check.
Separate.
Also a tiered check.
That one is a 5 normally without any assistance.
Okay. As you're getting your stuff around in the morning and getting your backpack and making sure you have your school books and everything, you notice that as you put everything in the backpack, you notice in the bottom of your backpack 2 items that are sort of loosely in there. Actually, I think you hid one of them, now that I think about it, so it wouldn't be in your backpack. I don't remember what you did with it, so you'll at least think about it.
Is it the floppy disk?
Yeah, so the floppy disk, I now seem to recall, I think you hid that somewhere, didn't you?
I probably would have found that Sunday night, honestly, because it was in a pocket of my PJ bottoms, which were in my hamper. So when I went to put them back on, I would have been like, what the fuck is this?
And then the other thing is there's that 60-minute cassette tape that is written only play on Mondays, never play on Mondays.
Right. Yeah. I have played the Monday side, I think. Play on Monday side. Yeah. I take note of that, and I am kind of just like shrugging. Rosie resolves to play this fucking thing. I don't care what day it is. She's playing it on a Monday just to say, fuck the world. Who cares?
All right, so you said you were going to go taking off looking for Laz or Jess.
I guess now I'm specifically looking for Laz because I want to know, like, if Claire contacted him to go help out with the cleanup, and if so, like, when was the last time you heard from her, kind of thing.
How long would you wait for Laz?
Probably until like the warning bell.
I was just going to say, you at the 5-minute warning bell, Laz still hasn't shown up.
Oh Jesus. A lot of worries today. Okay, so Rosie worriedly, but equally worried about what her mom will say if she's late to class. Eventually just kind of, it's like, well, he'll get here when he gets here, and make her way to broadcasting.
Everybody is now at school, and we have Coop in class, Oak in class, Billy in class, Rosie in class. I imagine about the time, Rosie, you turn and walk to your class, you go around the corner and the camera swings and we see Jess coming around the other corner, heading to her class, the two of you just missing each other. And as Jess heads to class, we see Laz kind of cross in the background from one hall to another, peeking in rooms, looking around, trying to find Oak. I'm going to turn it over to the six of you to determine in what order. We'll kind of loosely go through interactions and through your morning up to lunchtime. If there's specific things you want to do or questions you have. But for now, I want to turn it over to you to see who wants to go next.
Are there computers in the broadcasting room studio? Like student accessible?
I think there's 2 computers in class. One is Mr. Bonham's, the broadcasting instructor, who we've established is kind of a cocky former disc jockey type. He's got his computer, and there is one computer that's sort of a shared computer within the class that's used for writing up scripts and basic stuff like that.
I would ask him if I could use it like right out the gate, just to I would say it's to write a script, and I imagine this is like plausible because like this is something Rosie's been working on and such.
Yeah, he is he is sitting at his desk. Everybody's sort of doing this is one of those classes where the teacher doesn't really teach a whole lot. He teaches maybe 60% of the time. The students are sort of self-starters because broadcasting is one of those classes that people want to be there. So they're kind of all doing their own things anyway. And Mr. Bonham is sitting at the table, probably reading a local radio, like a Midwest radio journal from, say, 1981, where there was a feature article on him. So he's like, yeah. Just
sure.
make sure the others have a chance to use it too if they need it.
Yeah, sure thing. And Rosie would go over and she would open up like her script, which is saved on the hard drive. It's like one of 8 scripts saved on here, and that's the size of the hard drive. And then she would kind of look down at her backpack and pull out that floppy disk. I want to see what's on that fucker.
It's The hard drive is actually an external hard drive that's
Ooh,
roughly
never mind.
It's roughly the size of a car battery. And it's, I don't remember what it means. I just remember when in the 80s when I would go to the public library, they had a hard drive that was called an ice drive. And I don't remember the size, but it was measured in megabytes. I know that. So it was probably something like an 8 megabyte hard drive or something like
Whoa.
that.
Awesome.
But yeah, so you're able to do that, and then you're gonna slip in this this disc. So you place the 3.5-inch floppy disk into the appropriate drive, and you hear the sound of the disk drive sort of engaging with it, and then the cursor just blinking. You know, the only way to know what's on the disk is you have to type directory.
Run directory.
So in this particular case, because it was already enough work doing this, I couldn't remember a lot of the stuff, so that's a little anachronistic in some of the programming language stuff here. So don't sue me. You type directory in, and you get a bunch of green text scrolls up along the screen.
Rosie mutters under her breath, "Where's Oak when you need him?"
Directory C Nexus project /iteration _002 / readme.txt I_tr001.log. That file is repeated through tr005.log. Subdirectory anomaly profiles kubr1ck.txt.
Jesus.
I have, don't worry about taking notes.
Okay.
I will give you what you need.
Wait.
coop3r.txt 5m1th.txt gunn3r.txt asterisk 5t4pl3r.txt 3ch0l5.txt executables I_tr_gen.exe reset.exe monitor.exe nexusos.bat. Then there are archives, backups of personal files, payroll 1985, lunch orders, spreadsheet, vacation schedule, temp files with a delete me text file, a junk.bin file, old report 1979 text file, system dialog logs and backups, an error log, readme backup, z_bossproject.bin, help_me.doc, Nexus beta files, etc.
I want to open that one. I want to open that one, please. Help.me, please.
In our,
This is very
of course,
spooky.
it's not working right. Hold on 1 second. Copy.
Oh God.
Paste. Okay.
That kind of like tech scaries has given me the creeps since I was like a little kid.
So, I'll be able to provide you with an actual image of the directory.
Thank you.
But what I'm going to put instead is, for some reason it's not letting me do this. Oh, I think I skipped over it. The very first file on this drive is a README file.
Okay. Now, because I'm dumb, a README file, doesn't that usually like explain how to navigate the...
Typically a README is in all caps, and it's usually there specifically to tell you, read this first before you do anything else. That's the intention behind READMEs.
Okay. That's probably something Rosie would know. And yet, I think Rosie is too tempted by the help.me.exe. I think she would just skip the fucking README.
Oh, wow. I was going to drop it in the side chat here just to kind of mess with you guys. There's too much text. It's in the KOB docs and info, and later when I
Great.
share the image, I will share it in the public file for the audience.
Okay.
But if you look in there, you will see the full list.
Perfect. Oh wow.
May I also request that when you drop that later, that you also drop the playlist and stuff?
Yes. Remind me afterwards.
Oh wow. Oh, these are our names. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Skedios. Yeah. Yeah, of all of these, I guess I would just I want to click on the one random help_me.doc, please.
All right.
It's creepy as fuck. I love it.
You click on that file, and immediately you hear that sort of sound of the drive engaging, and your screen fills with ASCII characters. Basically, random characters from the alphabet, from all of the symbols of the upper row of the keyboard, etc. At first, in all of this green text on black, it's just like I said, it's the whole screen filling, and it appears to be moving because it's scrolling as it's continuing to load this information. And then you notice that in the movement, you start to see a pattern within it that vaguely resembles a it almost looks like a human face. As what I've lost the artist's name, but the scream.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it sort of looks like that depicted in ASCII, but it seems to be sort of like this. And then after a moment, it stops, and then it kind of goes and blinks back to the home screen, and then it redisplays the directory.
Rosie sits back and like realizes that she's in class. Like her face has been like she's been like leaning in and like just engrossed and not typing anything, and she realizes that there is too much here to delve into, and she just pops the disc out and sticks it back in her backpack and makes a mental note to find Oak as fucking soon as she can.
Well, there's a problem with that, Rosie. You can't get the disk drive open.
Shit. Oh no. I imagine Rosie goes shit under her breath, and like it's like trying the button again and like trying to pop it and like sticking a pencil in so like that little door that comes down maybe like comes back up.
The disk drive makes another sound of it engaging, and you see the screen go blank again. This time the directory reloads, and for a moment it looks identical, and then you see each character of that first line of the directory change from green to a sort of brassy yellow color, highlighting the readme.txt file.
Oh. So I kind of like, I imagine the shot is Rosie is at like a little computer station in the corner, and you see like her eyes like come up over the top as she peeks at Mr. Bonham and making sure he's still distracted with an article about himself.
Absolutely.
And then she like settles back in and wants to read the readme real quick. If it's read clickable.
It is.
She opens that fucker and it's a goddamn novel. She is shutting it immediately.
No, it
Readings
is
for nerds.
It is actually slightly shorter than the directory itself, which is in the Discord now.
Oh wow, it looks very Fallouty.
And while I have this up. So you you open the README file. This is green text, but parts of it are highlighted in yellow. readme.txt, Nexus Project, iteration 002, line separation, access restricted to level 9 personnel only. Unauthorized access or tampering with system files will result in immediate protocol breach. You have been warned. In yellow, the iterations are not stable. Monitoring is bold, essential. Intervention is bold, inevitable. In yellow, proceed carefully. If you are not authorized, do not attempt to open or execute, in gold, bold, rset.exe. This will initiate a full cascade event, results unpredictable, potentially irreversible. The last incident, I-TR000, should have made that clear. Do not repeat this error. ITRGN.exe will generate an unrecoverable cycle if used improperly. Loss of containment equals catastrophic. Nothing remains after a full reset. Pay close attention to the profiles. Not all anomalies are what they seem. You are being watched.
I hate that. I hate that.
Do not rely on this document for further instruction. Everything you need is already in motion. Proceed with caution. Time is not on your side.
Oh, shit.
And I am posting that as well.
Fuck. At the "you're being watched," I imagine there's like a window near Rosie. Rosie like looks out the window. This is very frightening. Oh God. Oh no. That was what I was thinking too, Tamiko. So I guess Rosie just spends the rest of the hour writing her script. She has a computer at home probably because they're semi-wealthy. Rosie would kind of spend the rest of the hour going through the rest of these files. We don't have to go through all of them on camera, obviously, but like, Jake, send me some info or whatever.
I will say, after you read the README file, the disk drive releases.
It does? Okay, good.
It does.
Okay.
I do, as much as you want to, and we can come back to it, if you're going to continue to review. I do have annotations and information on additional files that you may attempt to open.
Okay. I think Rosie would take the disc for now because she's afraid of getting caught, and she would probably do this like at home.
I think. Roll me a d6.
Okay. 5. What do you? I have rolled nothing but 5s. 5.
When you finish reading the last line of the README that says "time is not on your side," and then there's that and the drive, you can hear it mechanically releasing the disc.
Mm-hmm.
When you open the drive and pull the disc out, the bell rings. 50 minutes has passed. Class is over.
What? So it definitely did not feel like 50 minutes.
Oh no.
Oh,
You're
God.
pretty sure at most 5 to 10 minutes passed.
Rosie puts this disc away. Rosie puts this disc in her pocket. She does not even trust it being just rattled around in her backpack. And she would pick up her bag and go to her next class, trying to maintain normal facial expressions.
So, kind of rewinding back to this first hour or wherever you need to be in the day, in the morning, I'll say. Who's next?
I know Laz wants to find Oak at some point. Within first period-ish.
Roll me a d6.
If possible. Well, 3.
Takes you half an hour, but you eventually find the classroom that he's in. And I imagine you probably didn't see him right away, him being smaller and behind a book. You almost duck away from the window before you glance back and see, oh yeah, there he is.
He very quickly knocks on the window that has that interwoven like diamond wire mesh,
Yep.
that's in the door. He like very rapidly like knocks on it and like presses his face against the glass.
Oak, you hear this knocking, and when you glance over here, you see Laz's face sort of pressed up, kind of looking in through the window.
I make an excuse to the teacher. I forget who my teacher is for AP.
Your teacher is Mrs. Drolin.
Miss Drolin, can I be excused to go to the bathroom?
She gives you a sort of a sideways look and a big sigh. Take the pass with you.
Oh, of course, absolutely, yeah. And he'll kind of get down and immediately like step outside, grab the pass. And...
The pass for Miss Drolin's AP English Lit and Comp is literally a copy of the complete works of William Shakespeare. With,
I love it.
With like a hole drilled through part of the spine, and there's like a big ring, and that's got the then it says bathroom pass on it.
So you just see Oak come like barreling out of the door, and he goes, "What, Lass? What do you need?"
Look, I've been looking for you forever. Wait, is Coop in your class too?
I mean, yeah, do you want me to go back and get him? Is this the? Do we?
There's like
I can get him.
There's like a smash cut to like the
both
knock on
of
the
us
window
knocking
again.
on the window again.
And both of their faces looking in.
I'm on.
Yeah, so sorry, we're messaging back and forth. I do have both of you in Miss Drolin's first hour class, but I have Oak in AP English, and I have
yes.
Coop in not AP, so I'm not sure how that worked out, but somehow it works out. Miss Drolin makes it work.
Yeah.
They have to read like 2 extra books and do like annotated essays and stuff.
Yeah,
That's actually very common. It's that the AP kids will have their own session like during another class in the same
They just
room.
sit in a section that's
They do.
partitioned off to them.
You heard it from a
Like a
teacher. There you
like
go.
a VIP club. They're like, yeah.
I think this is I could see this working also in the vein of I know when I was in school, having hurt myself and being on crutches for a period of time, suddenly everybody wanted to be your friend because that meant they got to get out of class early, because they got to carry your books for you because you were on crutches. I can see there being a situation where occasionally somebody might assist or claim the need for assistance, and maybe you're able that's how you're able to for Coop to.
I was about to say Coop can get himself out of class.
Yep.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah. What is it? Coop sees them at the door, reaches into his backpack, pulls out a Kleenex, and goes, "Oh, nosebleed! I gotta go to the nose!" And he just jumps up and goes. Oh, I just upset my Amazon device.
As Coop jumps up, heading out, the we see a moment as he heads out. Miss Drolin just flips to her green marking book and a grade book, and next to Kenny Cooper's name in red pen, she just draws in, next to like 6 other markings, is what looks like a little red drop of blood. She's keeping track of how many nosebleeds you've had.
Oh my god. She's so organized.
Oh, well,
It's a hobby.
All right, the 3 of you are now out in the hallway.
Okay, listen. I know that you're trying to do like class and stuff, but look, he just kind of like thrusts the piece of paper like directly at whichever one of them is closest.
Okay, cool. Does it have like the cover art and stuff, or is it just like
It's literally just a notebook
just
page.
a list, a notebook page? Okay. Oh.
That's Jeannie's. That's my mom's handwriting.
Your mom? But,
Yeah,
but like
this is
what?
what she does. She's like trying to like come up with song titles and stuff for her album. But
this
do
one
you
sounds
see
like
what they
Rosie.
are? There's one for like each of us on there. It talks about iterations and the jealous mirror. How the fuck does she know about the jealous mirror?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, there's no way she knows all this.
But do you talk in your sleep or something?
Oh, but look, the next
There's no logical explanation for anything. It's paradise.
But maybe the Nexus project goes like a lot further than we were thinking. Maybe it's not just the people at the plant that are involved in this stuff, you know?
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
You see that Oak is highly paranoid, like more paranoid than he's His eyes are super shifty. He's like definitely after having the morning he had this morning, he's like, okay, so, oh dear, okay, also, how does she know that?
No, but like it doesn't just stop with like them being surrogates, you know? Like it seems like they're still connected somehow. They know stuff that's going on like now.
Yeah, okay.
Your mom's a musician, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, what are the odds she actually knows any of this? Like, maybe she doesn't. Maybe it's just things strike her like inspiration. Maybe Persephone's talking to your mom.
Or maybe it's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe the her in that other iteration, like, maybe she's got, I don't know how this is working, if it's like passing on from one iteration to the other or not, but your mom wasn't like this in the first iteration, right? Like, at all.
No, she fucking wasn't. Not at all. She didn't know shit.
Are you all standing in the hallway having this conversation, or did you go to the very nearby boys' bathroom?
100% would have found a way to get to a private sector.
It's
We would not
literally
have
outside of the English Lit and Comp class. Across the hall is the boys' bathroom. And it's, looking at the map now, it's funny that it took last 30 minutes to find, because your book is right down the hall.
Amazing.
Okay, so you guys are, I just wanted to establish where you're having this conversation. You're in the boys' bathroom during class.
Yeah. Laz absolutely like kicked the kick stop like down for the door, like as they like shut it. So like I know that this doesn't change how on edge we all are and how we're always going to be looking over our shoulders, but like, what are we going to do?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I thought we were just gonna try to like live our normal lives, I guess, or try to do that for at least a little bit.
You're living with Templeton, Oak. Not Templeton, sorry. You're living with Algernon, Oak.
Yeah, and that's not my normal life, and I'd like to go back to my normal life.
I know, but how do we do that? We got to take this Nexus shit down, right? We gotta like burn it all down.
And did you, based on what happened back there in the Nexus, what do you want to do? We took down you all took down one thing. One of probably a bunch of their whatever it is, right? Like the jealous mirror is probably only one of countless things that they've gotten there.
But look at the way that we were able to fight. They held us captive. They took us against our will, and they're still doing it now, and that made us fight. So all we got to do is figure out how to release all of those other things, and they're gonna fight too.
Okay. Actually, that's brilliant. That's like, you see his eyes flash with fear for like 10 seconds because the word that comes out of his mouth is like, that's like letting the rats run the maze. So if we just let mice run, then maybe we distract them enough to cause enough chaos and we let it loose.
You remember when we were talking last night and you told me that you had drawn the map of the facility in the first iteration, and when you used it again, it was like perfect?
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think that means that the lab stayed the same between iterations, right? At least that one part of it.
And so if that's the case, then it should be the same for everything.
Maybe Tempe knows like what area they kept people in, or the animals in, or whatever in.
Okay. So you could ask Tempe if that'll work. Have you seen Rosie or Jesse at all?
No, not yet. I found it right before I went into class. I didn't even go to class because I came to find you.
Okay. He kind of like writes down as much as he can into his notebook of what you've like of the note that you have, just to keep track of things. And then he goes, okay, so I think it'd be really smart if we tried to meet each other after school. Okay? We all need to see each other after school, and we need to make a plan. Because if our parents know something, and the Nexus knows something, and then what if everybody in this town knows something, and they're just eyes staring at us, waiting to, and you start hearing the hyperventilating happen in his voice as he's like going.
He pulls a paper bag out of his bag and is like,
breathe.
Hey,
Breathe.
You okay?
I had a really rough morning. And hearing this is not helping. So I will be okay. Be all right.
Chad, roll a D100.
D100. Here we go. Let's do it.
Maybe we should go to Maniacs after school.
No, Maniacs.
I can't even look at right now.
I had a bad experience.
No. 82.
82. Okay.
Not.
Oh my
There's
God.
a 30% chance. So if we're within 15 of either side, 82, so that'll be 65. So, okay, you're clear.
By only a little.
Yeah, barely.
By nearly a scratch.
All right. Well, if we can't trust the people that we're sharing a house with, it means none of us can really like meet up at our place. So, if we can't go to Maniacs, then where are we gonna go? We gotta figure out where we're gonna rendezvous.
I mean, he thinks about it. Does Maniacs have animatronics yet?
Oh, it's just pizza. And the man who works there who thinks we're weird.
Okay, well, look, as long as there's going to be no robots around, okay, I think I can deal with it.
Nowhere
Okay.
with robots.
No
I
robots,
promise.
please. Okay, yeah, then we can do it. He kind of like gives you guys both of you guys a hug, and like, I'm just really glad that we're okay, and I just want to stay okay.
Yeah, that's why we're all doing this, is so that we can stay okay.
Yeah. Because I'm really starting to not like this iteration, and I'd really like to, have it be. He like looks around the room as if he's checking the frippin' corners of the bathroom for bugs. Like, I just want a normal school experience to happen for the next foreseeable future. That's all I want. Okay?
Laz kind of looks at Coop with like a shrug.
Oh, had a really rough morning.
They know,
he
ma'am.
saw something.
They
He
know.
saw something that wasn't there.
I'm not losing it. You're losing it, okay?
Okay. So maybe enough for today, and we'll just pick up at Maniacs then.
Yeah.
Breadsticks.
Breadsticks and
Delicious.
Breadsticks might help.
breadsticks and brainstorming. Okay, let's do it.
All right.
As you leave the bathroom and you go grab the complete works of William Shakespeare Oak, in its place is a equally large styrofoam block of cheese. It's like a wedge. It looks like an accessory to an animatronic mouse. A big old yellow styrofoam block of or wedge of cheese.
I blankly take the William Shakespeare like key ring and
It's not there. It's not there.
Oh, it's not there.
The cheese is in place of it.
The cheese is in place of the key ring.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm setting this down then because I had it with me, right? So as I set it down,
I imagined you would set it down when you went into the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Unless you were standing there holding a big
holding
thick book
the
the
key.
whole time.
Yeah, I had set it down, and I think that as he goes back, he just kind of comes back into class with just a blank stare, but like on a piece of paper, he notes a couple of things. He says like, talk to Gertie, talk to Billy, and then check on Rosie and Jesse. And then he just circles in big bold letters, like, don't think about mice. Underlined.
Coop splashes some water on his face really quick and dries it off so that it looks like he cleaned himself up at some point. And while he's doing that, he very quickly fills Laz in on everything that happened in the morning. But mind you, it's not everything, because Oak didn't tell Coop everything. So, but you now know what I know.
With that, Billy or Jessica, or should you desire an awkward meeting in the hall between classes? I'll just throw that out there.
I think Jessica will go.
Okay. Jess, your first period is journalism. You also have intro to business. I don't know what that was. Intro to business and communication. Anytime in the first half of the morning here, whatever and wherever you want to go.
Yeah, I feel like, so right now Jessica is just trying to get back to normal as quickly as possible. So I think that the biggest thing maybe people might notice about Jessica is like she's lost a lot of her she's lost some of her edge, I would say. Probably a little bit less snooty, snippy, little quieter. Like, it's still Jessica, so there's still quite a bit of hair flipping, but there's a noticeable difference, I would say.
So you're doing your best to just keep a low profile.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere in the morning, I don't remember if we ever even specified a specific class, but as you are going about your normal day, or trying to be as low profile as possible, I would like you to make a brains check for me.
Ooh, brains. Something Jessica's so good at.
This is a tiered check.
It's a 3.
It takes you a little while before you get that sensation of being watched. Being not just watched, but being stared at.
I mean, immediately Jessica's first instinct is to look for a mirror.
In the immediate sort of looking around for a reflective surface, you turn to the side, and 2 rows away, staring holes in you, or trying to stare holes through you, Meredith Haas.
Oh no. That's the girl I broke her hand, right?
Well,
Anne broke her hand.
Anne broke her hand,
Yes.
not Jessica.
As far as she's concerned, yes.
Yes.
And okay.
And I believe because it was established through a reflection in the there was like an iced over water or something like that Jessica did witness this.
Yeah, Jessica is going to look at Meredith and just, I don't think she can make eye contact. Oh.
No, you're fine. That was for Jeremy.
It's like when a teacher has you move your paperclip. This is bullshit. I don't like this.
What the hell does that mean when a teacher has you move your paperclip?
Oh, bro, you are clearly not aware of the trauma. When you like that, we'll talk about it later.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Dude, it is a long defunct discipline system. I will share it with you later.
So you're avoiding eye contact with Meredith.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would like, ow, son of a just went to grab my book and I jammed my finger against the shelf. Ow.
Oof. Keep it straight.
This is going to be a charm check, and it's going to be opposed.
Ooh, okay.
And Meredith is a popular kid.
What do stars do again? Sorry.
Your gold star can be used to add an automatic +2. It's one of the things that they can do. They can remove a consequence, or you can spend. I think there's one. I don't have it in front of me, but I think there's one that lets you add something really epic. But yeah, this will be an opposed charm check.
I'm going to use my star.
Okay.
To make it a 19.
On a d20, I assume, then.
Yes.
I am also rolling a d20.
I know. I figured.
Oh, man.
I'm so glad I used my star.
Oh, hold on a second. I need to check skills real quick. Or strengths. Meredith has the lucky strength and can re-roll a stat check.
Oh, man.
Well, that's just rude.
Just a victory lap.
Oh my word!
You suck, Meredith.
She hurt herself. She tried way too hard. I think she pulled something.
You see, initially, what is happening is that Meredith she's definitely giving you a death glare. And as you're trying to avoid looking at her, and there's a point, though, I think, where you, in avoiding eye contact, you sort of inadvertently make eye contact and hold it for a half a second longer than intended. And in that half a second, you see something change in Meredith, and you see her shoulders slump a little bit, and you see her turn her head down and kind of look away from you, and she kind of slides down in her seat a little bit and just kind of rests her pen against her paper to take notes. And in that moment, you realize that as Anne, the beating that Meredith was given and subsequent treatment, something broke in Meredith. There's a little extra trauma there caused by Anne. And it is now Meredith who will not look at you.
Yeah, I think Jessica just feels awful. Like, this is next level. This isn't, catty girl, like popular girls in school who like swap catty jabs at each other. Like, Jessica sees the real trauma and hurt, and she so desperately wants to make it right with Meredith. But I think she realizes that probably right now, anything that she tries to do will not help. This is something that Jessica is going to have to live with for now. But she feels this pit in her stomach. And she kind of also slumps down in a similar way to Meredith and just starts very aggressively doodling on her notebook.
And with that, we will shift over to Billy.
Billy is just trying to keep his head down. Nothing is really on my agenda until we get to fourth period.
I mean, what? Sorry.
What's his fourth period?
Um,
The class we have together.
Oh yeah.
The class that we have together, but also the mountains are in it as well. Let's see if they're actually in
My
in
God,
school.
yes, can we please?
um, so you're gonna keep quiet for the morning, keeping your head down, which is probably easier than anybody else because your morning classes are metal shop, automotive, and phys ed. It's very easy to hide behind a welder's mask, hide under the hood of a car, take some aggression out in dodgeball, what have you, or whatever other events you happen to be doing in class. I would like to, staying with Billy for a minute before we jump ahead to fourth period. Does anybody plan on getting together and meeting with others that you don't have classes with during lunch break between third and fourth period?
Yeah, I think I would try to find Oak and Coop and see if they're sitting, hopefully, maybe with the others.
I was also going to say I had one small thing that I would have probably done during classes, but it would have been something that can be done near the end.
Is there anybody that wouldn't have gone to the cafeteria? All right, I will turn you loose for lunch. Dismissed?
Yay!
Enjoy your lunch.
Swarm!
Awesome.
I'm looking to not that anything needs to be done, but I'm looking to do this lunch with was it Bobby D?
Robbie D?
Oh yeah, Bobby D.
Robbie D. Robbie Diamond.
Awesome.
So I think,
Is he actually in attendance?
No, he's also been kidnapped.
You never know.
You never know. We're dropping like flies
so
around here.
I
At
need
Paradise
you
Academy.
to roll a D100, and there is a very small percentage chance that Robbie is not here.
That is a 6.
So I'm gonna say that it's literally a if it's between a 1 and an 11. Robbie's not here. 63. You find Robbie sitting at a table, and he is with one other person. They've got their heads close together, muttering to one another as you join Robbie and Gertie. They immediately kind of clam up with what they're like, real quick, like, no. Hey, Billy, what's up?
Oh my god.
So I guess things went off the way you wanted Friday.
What do you mean? Not so loud, man.
You had a good time at the dance. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We had a good time at the dance. Hey, what happened to you anyway?
Can I join you?
Yeah, if you tell me what happened to you, you and Jessica Smith got crowned homecoming king and queen, and then, like, you vanished.
So I'll slide into the booth and look, I don't know how to say what happened, but after the lights kind of came back on, there was a whole lot of craziness. So a bunch of us just decided to get out of there, and the weekend was all kinds of highs and lows. I don't know what else to say. It was crazier than I think anyone was really expecting.
Yeah, there was some unusualness. Now, I have to interject here for a moment, and maybe our note taker can remind me, because I've lost track off the top of my head of who knew. Only a couple of you knew about the EMP plot, right?
I mean,
Oak and
Okay.
Billy. That's it.
He was Oak through Gertie and Billy through Robbie. Okay. So Robbie's like, hey, the whole EMP thing was a bust, man.
think.
Well, only one went off, which is a good thing. Gertie thought that it was a good idea to hide a second one. Somebody found the first one, apparently.
What were you looking to do with that? Was it to just turn out the lights to have a good time, or?
There's so much going on at this school, you don't even have a clue. You got your head buried up here, and maybe the metal from that cheap homecoming crown is contaminating your brain. But you got to open your eyes, man. There's weird stuff going on at this school. We were pretty sure. And Gertie kind of Gertie kind of leans in and pushes their glasses up and says, "We had quite a certainty that several of the faculty had been replaced by robots or androids. Unfortunately, the EMP turned out to be a bust. When the lights came back on, we thought we had uncovered the plot. And then those teachers began to get up. I think the shock knocked them over."
Well, do you think the EMP wasn't enough, or was there some kind of like?
Are you questioning my calculations?
Dude, you're like what, 12? I mean, unless you're some, college genius, you pulled this stuff together here.
I
not saying that could have been
13. And I already hold 4 high school championships for science and math.
I stand corrected. I apologize.
I have signed a non-disclosure agreement, but if I hadn't, I might hint that Neil Patrick Harris's character was loosely inspired by me.
Should we call you Doogie then?
Their eyes narrow at you in answer. Gertie turns to Robbie and says, "I think I've had enough." And gathers their lunch and stands up and walks away, leaving you and Robbie.
So, Robbie, you say there's weird stuff. Besides the missing kids and the suspected robots, what else do you think is going on?
Yeah, I forgot the missing kids. Did you hear? Claire Spicer's missing now.
Had some feds asking questions yesterday.
The feds are talking to you? I didn't get it. I didn't get questioned by the feds.
Maybe I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know.
And where was that?
Some of us had gotten together and like pause for a moment and look away, as I say, Jessica's.
I'm sensing a little disturbance in the force. Are things not so well between the king and the queen? Is there already a royal rift?
Oh, it's as big a rift as you're gonna get.
How? You don't waste any time. You got that crown and you immediately effed it up.
Well, I'm kind of known for that stuff, so I don't know. There's a lot going on. I'm pretty sure a lot of the group I hung around with this summer hate me.
Wait, so you got paired up with one of the hottest girls in school, most popular girls in school, immediately messed that up, and may have jeopardized all your friendships? Maybe it's a good thing we didn't hang out this weekend.
Yeah. Literally, the dance seems so long ago. There's like I feel like it would literally take me weeks on end to explain the roller coaster of a weekend I had. Tossing and turning and what have you. I didn't really sleep last night.
Word around town is there was some kind of big shindig out at your place this weekend. Not even a private party at your house is enough to keep your spirits lifted.
Oh, and throw in some accidental murder on top of it. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Were you like hosting a clue party?
You won't hear about it in any kind of papers. I'm pretty sure it's all been rushed under, but yeah, somebody died.
Oh, that explains why you're one morose looking motherfucker.
Like I said, if I tried to get into it, you wouldn't believe me.
Listen, we'll have to catch up. You can fill me in. I'm gonna keep digging around, see what I can find out about some of this other stuff that's going on. Gertie doesn't think we should be talking, but listen,
I'm interested in any information you might have on the missing kids.
Well, that's where we're turning our focus now, since this whole teachers as robots thing's turned out to be nothing. That blows half my year. Look, he kind of looks around as he starts to push away from the table. He reaches into his jean jacket pocket and he goes, "You probably need this more than I do." And he kind of slaps his hand down on his table and slides it forward. And as he steps away from the table, he gives an exaggerated bow. "Your Highness," and walks away from you without looking up or turning away from you for a few feet. But as he suddenly pops up and laughs and spins on his heels and takes off, you see that he's slipped a joint your way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I will gladly pocket it.
Robbie D knows what's up.
So while Billy is having this conversation with Gertie and Robbie, I believe there were some others that were looking to meet up.
I think at this point I would already be seated, maybe with a couple of the others, and I would get somebody's attention, kind of anybody really, and I would like nod over to where Billy is sitting now by himself and be like, "Looks like Looks like our buddy is just driving him away left and right.
Oh no, poor Billy.
Coop, don't start that poor Billy bullshit. He does all that. He does that enough for, everybody.
Look, Rosie, I think we just all been through a lot, and
Yeah, we have. That's the point. And I don't take to being called selfish when we've all been through a lot very kindly.
I understand that. Not trying to say you're not right, but I just think we should maybe meet each other when cooler heads. Talk to each other when we're calm and not pissed off at each other.
That might be a long wait, Oak.
I understand.
Laz comes up with like a double order of French fries and really like nothing else on his tray.
Yes.
And he sits down.
French fries solve everything.
Oh, did y'all tell her already?
Yeah, I started to. But
And it looks like
yeah.
Why is everybody all like mopey?
I'm not. I'm really enjoying my lunch.
No, it's okay. As I was saying, we found all this stuff out from apparently his mom.
What stuff?
Yeah.
Slides
And
the
Just show her.
Yeah.
piece of paper over.
Rosie
I'll
starts
listen to
reading
that.
it, and it's just like, oh shit.
Uh-huh.
Is this? And she just sees like the opening, like the title, and is like, is this like the next album?
I think so. But like, read the titles. Wait,
Oh
hold
my
on.
god.
And he like hops up and grabs like a handful of the fries and is like stuffing them in his mouth as he heads straight over to the table where Billy is. He says, "Hey, Billy," and he kind of like slaps him on the shoulder. "Come on, we got something to show you."
Rosie's smile fades as she gets further and further into the track list, and she's like, this isn't good.
While
This isn't good.
while this gathering is happening, Jess, you enter the lunchroom. Do you sit or look for your friends or sit with them, or what do you do?
Oh yeah. I think Jessica would sit beside Rosie.
So when Laz comes over, it's like, what do you want me to look at?
I think this thing goes further and it's deeper than we even really realize. Like I found this piece of paper and it's got some weird stuff that my mom wrote on it. It has to do with all of us. So, come on. What are you sitting over here for?
Because you all hate me?
Wait. What? We hate you?
You do not know what y'all did this weekend? If any conversations between anything that happened yesterday?
Look, Rosie said that the two of you kind of like, yelled at each other for a little bit, but look, I mean, it just happens, right? It's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big a deal. What would you do if I locked away Rosie without you being able to say,
Hey, look.
what? That's what you did.
Anne was a problem, man.
How?
She was hurting us.
Who did she hurt?
She was tearing us apart as a group. She was hurting Jessica.
And as soon as I realized that Jessica was trapped, I put out the idea that we need to get her out, not shove Anne in. And without even a word to me, you went and did it all yourself.
And I don't know what you remember, but I didn't go off and do anything. I was
Well,
kidnapped.
Yeah, after you went and killed somebody on my property. I was there to rescue you. And when I show up, you guys are already out and Anne's gone. No hello, no how do you do, no goodbye.
Look, man, that place was fucked. Right? It was.
I was in your situation before.
So what? You're just gonna walk off? No longer be involved? Look, there might still be a way that we could maybe get Anne out.
They don't want that.
Who is they?
Rosie, Jessica, Oak.
Well, I can't speak for them. But I can tell you that if we can figure out a way that we can get her out, where Jessica doesn't have to go back, I don't see a problem with it.
But from the talks, just mentioning that Jessica's terrified, Rosie's pissed. You try and bring that up to them, be prepared for a fight.
The wounds are raw. Everybody's pissed at each other. That's the way that this works.
Well, and that's why I'm over here, so that I don't make things worse. Because the things I want to say and the things I want to do is bad. And it only keeps getting worse.
All right. Well, just remember, man, like, that beast that's inside of you, you're the only one that can control it.
Yeah.
You get to choose when it comes out. So
I like to say that I do, but I don't know if I get too angry. Is it going to get out on its own? I don't know these things.
Sounds like a threat.
Well,
so
if it does and there's no one around to help you back from that ledge, what if you don't come back?
Well, right now I wouldn't care.
That's some dark shit you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm in a dark place.
Well,
if you want to show me some stuff, I need space to be able to share something as well, because I don't know what you have to say, but I got probably equally important crap.
I'm ready to hear it. But if you're not ready to talk, then that's fine, man. We can wait until, the new moon or the full moon or whatever suits you best. But when that happens and things have cooled off, you know where we are. He kind of shrugs and he just backs away.
I follow you. Not looking anybody in the face as I approach.
He grabs another wad of French fries and shoves them in his mouth.
Hey, the
Hey,
game's
Billy,
all here.
do you want a French fry? You can shove it in my shake if you want to.
I never understood the fry and shake thing. I know some love it.
Rosie's not saying anything. She has already slid the track list over to Jessica.
So, what does this mean? Isn't this fucking weird?
It's weird.
She's never seemed connected to any of this other than just the surrogacy thing. But that would have been 15 years ago.
So
Have you talked to her about this?
He kind of gives her a look like, talk to my parents about anything important? What?
What do you think
Is
I am?
she a like? This is gonna sound dumb, but is she a reader, like psychic, emanations, any of that stuff?
I mean, like, sometimes she keeps like crystals and shit around, but no, not really.
That's
So-
perfect. Of course she does.
Because these are all things that are essentially an aspect of what we're going through, which would be all things that you would exude. So if she were of that kind of personality, whatever, she would be kind of reading them out of your vibe, if you will.
Maybe, I guess. But like, have all of you even met my mom?
Yeah, Jeannie and I had mixed cereal the other morning. It was really pleasant.
No, come to think of it, I haven't met any of your parents.
I mean, how would she know well enough to read an aura off of Coop?
I don't know.
Starting to think more and more that there's less and less people in this place that we can trust. Look, I know there's some shit that has gone down, and we're gonna have to deal with it at some point, and it's gonna have to blow over, but what I'm saying is this place sucks.
Speaking of people we have to deal with, we all know that my grandmother is attached to all this bullshit. Well, she apparently had some kind of files on the iteration and the people that it's been affected, including us. And that military kid that got trapped in the mirror, his father
AJ.
is behind some of the crap happening here. Well, a party and a nice diversion outside. He broke into my family's home, broke into the safe, and took all of the paperwork, including the stuff on us.
When Billy says files on us, Rosie adjusts her seat and she like put the floppy disk, which has been kind of slipping out of her back pocket. She like kind of shoves it back in.
So I look around, but when we jumped through time this weekend, lowering my voice as I say that, we fucked up and Carson got trapped. That's why Vanson is around now. Well, Carson found a way back to this time frame, but he had been already bumped out of whatever time sequence we were in, and he wound up being buddy with this guy, and now it's the only adult male to really truly care about me now hates my guts, but he wants to try and do something right. So he gave me the keys to get into this guy's safe, but this dude is a full on, if you're not human, he wants you dead. And all of us aren't quite right. So
then if there's files on everything that's connected to the Nexus, including us, and we know where to go get it, then we just got to go get it, right?
I mean,
This is an adult with lots of firepower, lots of weapons.
I think we should
gonna
at least. I think we should at least wait for the action from over the weekend to cool down, don't you? I mean, it's not gonna. I think we should lay low for a bit. Wait for everything to get cool, and then we go get them.
I mean, yeah. I was thinking kind of the same. If we just have a couple of days of trying to keep things normal for a
But
bit.
on the other hand, though, won't he become more and more on edge as time goes by? Because I mean, his kid's missing now.
I mean, yeah.
This kid just went missing. I mean,
Yeah.
let him get tired and freaking desperate, and let him get worn down a little bit.
Everybody make a
Sure.
brains. Everybody make a brains check real quick, please.
Brains. Wow. Billy's so smart. My boy's wicked smart.
Oak always beats me on brains checks.
Billy and Oak, on the mention of how TJ is missing, something clicks in that you have heard about Claire missing this weekend. And I think, well, and Billy's heard it from Robbie, and the buzz is starting to pass around school, but you realize nobody has mentioned anything about TJ.
Well, TJ was kind of a loner, wasn't he?
It was a mysterious transfer, according to his little label.
Right, but not even the authorities mentioned TJ.
He often went unnoticed, but I mean, he hung out sometimes with who's the guy who hit you with the truck again?
Dallas.
Rogers.
Dallas Rogers.
Also,
And Dallas Rogers is at least known by the police because they had to
Yeah.
take him into that.
His name comes
But
up
again,
once in
like
a
I
while.
brought up in the chat, like the school hasn't mentioned the missing kids to us.
No, not really.
At all.
No.
So
I don't think that's true. I thought there was an announcement on the first day of school.
Was there? Okay.
That's a good question. I don't know.
There were like signs posted too around town
Mm.
about the missing kids, and
Mm.
but at any rate, that's at least a connection that Billy and Oak make. That while Claire has been mentioned, nobody's mentioned TJ's missing.
So sure, we can choose to wait. And the psychotic with weapons who wants to, go hunting can just take us out one by one. Good plan.
Hell yeah, Billy. Why don't you come up with a great idea? You always have the best ideas, don't you?
Hey, look,
Yeah, how about we sacrifice another one of our own? You want to do that?
You know what, Billy? You know what,
Hey.
man?
Look what I can do! And Coop shoves French fries up his nose.
Rosie would like grab her tray and stand up, and she would just say, you know, Billy, I hate to break this to you, but this isn't a super morality thing. This isn't a right and wrong thing. Maybe this is just like a winning and losing thing. And Anne fucking lost. How about that? And Rosie would like walk away and be like, I'll see the rest of you guys later.
Rosie.
Leo walk in the other direction.
Jessica has her head in her lunch, like just down. Like the sandwich is so interesting at this very moment.
Wow, they're really putting good pastrami in these days.
So I think Oak at this point like has his fingertips like up near the bridge of his glasses, right? Like where the nose like the nose tips hit. Guys, can I just ask the two of you, like asking the two older kids, is this gonna be like what happens for us? This?
Because if this is what friendship is like as a teenager, Cooper never growing up, man. You and me, staying young forever, we're never growing up. Because I don't want whatever this is to happen to us.
I think
Glass kind of looks at Jessica and shrugs. Like,
I think with that, and the fact that both Billy and Rosie sort of stormed off, we're going to cut to fourth period. Specifically, Laz and Billy. Laz probably realizing his lunch is over, either trying to or not trying to catch up to Billy, whatever the case may be. Regardless, you're going the same destination, which is AP Chemistry, I believe.
Yeah.
With Mr. Bunsen.
I forgot it was Mr. Bunsen.
As you enter the classroom, Mr. Bunsen is noticeably absent. Usually he's there as soon as you get into class. He's known for taking the lunch break, for having lunch at his desk. It's rumored that he makes grilled cheese over the Bunsen burner at his desk. He's not there. Also noticeably are the empty seats at your station, where the Van Houten twins would normally sit.
Whoa. They took a long weekend.
I mean, to be fair, their father died 2 days ago.
Yeah.
True.
So it's a a tough situation now. At a game, we know they wanted their father dead, and they're like one down, one to go. But
Right.
So the bell rings, leaving Laz and Billy sitting at this table without the Van Houten twins. I imagine this sort of awkward silence filling the space that is broken by the loud sound of the classroom door slamming shut. Everybody snapping their head to see is not Mr. Bunsen, a different adult walking towards the front of the class, who immediately heads to the blackboard and says, "Mr. Bunsen is out sick this week. I will be substituting for all of you. My name is," and he begins writing on the board, "Mr. Algernon." And Algernon turns around to face you all in his white suit with his red tie. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, he's going to be such a harsh grader, I'll bet. Wow. What a dick.
That's what
Gary
gets out of that.
You can tell he's a dick because he labeled himself Mr. My First Name. Like,
yeah, right. He will never grade on a curve.
That was some
a lot of good shit.
That was some juicy role play, and we got some lore drops. I believe I have given you all three of the pieces. Tamiko, are the images enough, or do you want text versions of the
images? Are fine.
Okay. Also, would you mind sharing those three images in the public Paradise chat, because I didn't get a chance to.
I'll put those up later tonight with spoiler tags.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, I do have information on. I know there's that hey, I want to look through this stuff, but we don't have to role play it. But it's lore. You don't want to not role play lore stuff. So.
What's on the disc primarily? You can decide what you want to do with that, but Rosie's fucking looking.
Yeah, you've already learned that it's a bit of a chore, and there's other factors to consider when you're using this disc in a computer, having lost time. So you want to be very careful about how and when you use it. But I think, just to give you guys a heads up for next session, at least for the next session, obviously we're going to pick up in chemistry with what's going on with the substitute teacher. But I'm also anticipating that we can, to a certain extent, I guess it'll be driven by what you guys do, that we may be sort of taking it less hour by hour and more day by day, or even like, hey, what do you guys want to do this week? Since you guys have mentioned letting things cool down, it makes sense to let a week or two go by and see what unfolds. You guys have no shortage of things to talk about and investigate, and so that's kind of where my head's at, thinking about future sessions. Thank you, as always, everybody hanging out in chat. Thank you for all the support through subs, bits, all that good stuff. And again, another night watching the chat fly by. I have no idea what you all talk about, but I love seeing that there's conversation happening. It's the only downside to running and producing simultaneously is I can't be in 3 conversations at once. It's hard enough to watch the side chat in our game. I miss half of what you guys are talking about. But at any rate, I love seeing all of that activity. So thank you for everybody hanging out with us and watching yet another episode of Welcome to Paradise Academy. And of course, as always, a huge thank you to these amazing players. I love playing with you guys every week. I love seeing where you guys are taking this story, what interests you, and what pieces of thread you decide to pull on. And it especially warms my heart when everybody gets to be here all at the same time. We know things happen and we can't always have that happen, but it's extra special when everybody can be here and be a part of what's happening. So, as always, a huge thank you to Chad, Tomiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would just be me talking to myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want.
In our party,
Smalls.